Hacking. It's a word that carries a lot of weight, right? And usually, it's not positive. But what if I told you it's not always a force for bad? What if, sometimes, it's actually a force for good? Let's find out. For most of us, we immediately picture some shadowy figure in a hoodie, typing away furiously in a dark room. You know, the classic digital villain. But that's only half the story. In fact, what if the hero of our digital lives looks a whole lot like that villain?
You know, this quote just nails it. It gets right to the heart of a really surprising truth. Hacking isn't always about breaking things. Sometimes it's about prevention, about finding the cracks in our digital walls before someone else does. And this is the world of the ethical hacker, the digital locksmiths who are out there protecting us every single day.
So how can a hacker be a good guy? It kind of sounds like a contradiction, doesn't it? Let's break down what it actually means to be an ethical hacker.
The entire difference, and I mean all of it, boils down to one critical word: permission. An ethical hacker uses the exact same skills and the exact same tools as a malicious one. The only difference is they've been invited in. They're hired by companies to basically put on the black hat and find all the security holes before a real attacker can.
To get a clearer picture of this, the cybersecurity world has this really simple analogy. It sorts hackers into 3 different categories based on their motives, almost like characters in an old Western movie wearing different colored hats.
And this chart really shows it's not just black and white. You've got your heroes, the white hats, and of course the villains, the black hats. But for me, the most interesting category has got to be the gray hats. I mean, they operate in this moral gray area. Maybe they'll hack a system without permission, but then turn around and tell the company how they did it. It's not uncommon for a really talented gray hat to eventually get hired as a white hat, turning their skills from mischievous to mission critical.
Okay, so how do they actually do it? Let's take a look inside the playbook. And you might be surprised to learn that whether you're a good guy or a bad guy, the first few steps of any hack look almost identical.
For a white hat, this whole process is called a penetration test, or just a pen test if you're in the industry. It's basically a full-on simulated attack, but, and this is key, it's done with permission. The goal is to use every trick in the book to see what data you can steal or what damage you can do. It gives the organization a perfect roadmap of exactly what they need to fix. Oh, and this is brilliant because it illustrates the difference between 2 words you hear all the time. A vulnerability is the flaw. Think of it as the unlocked door or the open window. It's a passive weakness just sitting there. The exploit, on the other hand, is the active tool. It's the piece of code or the script that actually opens that door and walks right on through. You know, every hack, whether it's for good or for bad, follows a surprisingly methodical process. It is not one magic trick. It's a series of 5 distinct phases. It all starts with reconnaissance, which is just gathering info. Then comes scanning to find those open doors. After that, it's gaining access, then maintaining access to stay inside, and finally covering tracks to hide all the evidence. So that first phase, reconnaissance, is all about gathering intel. Sometimes it's active, like digitally rattling doorknobs to see what's unlocked. But a lot of the time, it's completely passive. Hackers can use techniques to just listen to the data flowing in and out of a network. It's kind of like digital eavesdropping. It's absolutely incredible what you can learn just by watching and listening. Okay, so we know how the attackers get in. How in the world do we keep them out? Well, building a digital fortress isn't about plugging one hole at a time. It's about having a complete, thought-out defensive strategy. Instead of just playing whack-a-mole with every new threat, smart organizations use a blueprint. A really common one is the NIST cybersecurity framework. Just think of it as the architectural plan for their digital fortress. It gives them a structured way to manage risk, right from the foundation all the way up. And here is where it all comes together. Look at this defensive playbook. Does it look a little familiar? It should. It's designed to directly counter the hacker's 5 phases. The hacker does reconnaissance, the defenders identify their assets. The hacker tries to gain access, the defenders protect the perimeter and detect intruders. The hacker tries to maintain access, well, the defense team's job is to respond and kick them out. It's this constant, strategic dance between offense and defense. So, if ethical hackers are using the same tools as the criminals, what stops them from, crossing that line? Well, there's a very clear legal framework that keeps everything in check. A strict legal framework draws a very bright line in the sand. On one side, as you can see here, is unauthorized access, which can lead to serious prison time. But on the other side is authorized professional work. And what's really interesting is that some laws actually require organizations, especially government agencies, to regularly test their own security. This creates the legal demand for ethical hackers to exist and do their jobs.
So, the big takeaway here is this. To build a strong defense, you have to learn to think like an attacker. White hat hackers aren't a contradiction, they're an absolute necessity. They're the ones who bravely go into the dark alleys of the digital world so the rest of us can walk safely on the main streets. And that leaves us with one final question to think about. Just how strong are the digital walls protecting you right now?